Part 1. Recap. On July 16th, 1945, at 5:29 a.m. at the Alamogordo Bombing Range, the first ever nuclear detonation, known as Trinity, was conducted. Officially, we were told it was merely a test of the atomic bomb, a weapon meant to end the war. However, a man known only by the initials WB, who worked closely with a scientist at Los Alamos identified as KG, has recounted that this blast was intended to destroy something far more sinister. Back in March 1945, 3 men were sent to scout the Alamogordo Range as a potential test site. During this mission, something mysterious and horrific happened, resulting in the deaths of 2 men, Miller and Jones. WB and KG were summoned to examine the scene and the bodies, which lay next to a strange wooden box inscribed with the Roman numerals DCLXVI and some symbols resembling Sumerian script. A makeshift hangar, designated as DCL-16, was hastily constructed to contain the bodies and the ominous box. WB and KG began examining the bodies and the box, trying to piece together what had happened. One morning, WB entered the hangar, only to find the bodies missing. He and 2 soldiers managed to track footprints leading toward the McDonald Ranch house, while KG followed another set heading into the nearby mountains. Part 2. When WB and the soldiers arrived at the ranch house, they searched the entire area but found nothing. The footprints mysteriously stopped at the steps leading into the house, though nothing was found inside. They spent the day driving around, but their efforts yielded no clues. Returning to the hangar, WB, KG, and the soldiers agreed to search again the next day. If unsuccessful, they planned to seek help from Los Alamos. The eerie nature of the events weighed heavily on everyone except KG, whose scientific curiosity kept him unbothered. That night, WB was abruptly woken by the frantic screams of a soldier yelling, "Help me! It's got me!" He sprang from his cot, grabbed his flashlight, and rushed outside with the others, including KG. When he noticed movement near the hangar, WB alerted the others, and they hurried to investigate. Standing at the hangar doors, no one wanted to be the first to enter. Finally, a soldier mustered the courage, opening the door to a pitch-black interior lit only by their flashlights. Inside, they cautiously made their way toward a wall constructed to shield the bodies and the box from view. As they neared it, the lead soldier peeked around the corner, then motioned for the others to look. To their shock, they saw the bodies of Miller, Jones, and now the soldier who had cried for help, lying on the ground in the same unsettling condition. Stranger still, the once sealed wooden box was now open, though it had no visible lid or means of opening. KG inspected it with his flashlight, confirming it was empty. Suddenly, their flashlights flickered out, leaving them in total darkness. They heard muffled noises, like someone struggling to speak. Panicked, WB and the soldiers attempted to escape, stumbling through the blackness until they finally found the door and escaped. UB waited outside, pressing his shoulder against the door, hoping KG would appear. But he never did. Fearing for their lives, they decided to barricade the hangar door with a truck and headed back to Los Alamos for help. On the way, they encountered a military vehicle, which blocked their path. A senior officer, whom WB suspected was aware of KG's findings, approached them with an urgent message. The officer explained that a specialist had translated the Sumerian text on the box, revealing an ominous warning. Witchcraft will raise the dead every 30 days. 5 souls must be taken to grant the ruler his throne. WB was speechless but detailed everything that had transpired. The officer, alarmed, instructed them to turn back. He declared that they would put an end to whatever force was at work, hinting at horrific discoveries that he could barely process. He then ordered WB's team to return to Los Alamos, gather more men, and bring enough fencing and materials to secure the hangar completely. When they returned to the hangar, everything was eerily undisturbed. Soon after, several trucks arrived with fencing supplies, and a perimeter was swiftly constructed around the hangar. The officer took WB aside, asking him to recount the events again to ensure nothing was overlooked. WB noticed tears in the officer's eyes when he mentioned what had happened to KG. Determined to contain the unknown threat, the officer revealed a plan to accelerate the atomic test. The hope was that the bomb's detonation would annihilate whatever dark power was lurking within the hangar. WB and his colleagues were sworn to secrecy, permitted to discuss the incident only among themselves. Days later, the atomic test at the Trinity site proceeded as planned. Once the dust settled, soldiers returned to the hangar site to assess the aftermath. While everything else had been obliterated, the wooden box remained, eerily untouched in the exact spot Miller and Jones had first found it. A concrete grave liner was constructed over it, and in 1965, the Army built the Trinity Site Monument above this spot as an added measure. WB kept this terrifying story a closely guarded secret, one that haunted him for much of his life. Only now, before his passing, has he shared it with his family, knowing few would believe the horrors he witnessed, but hoping his story would live on. For more unsettling stories, be sure to subscribe.